Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Tonight we have a late night insight video on the final Arabian Heritage collection, the final review. Well, early impression. I can't really call these reviews. I don't have a bottle. All I have is a sample, which I've tried a couple times, and this is called Al Sandal. The cheapest of the collection. We basically went in order from most expensive to now reviewing the least expensive in the bunch. I believe cost-wise, this is $185 for 35 mils. So actually very, very affordable, I would say, for the artisanal space. And so before we actually hop into this, I want to do a very quick unboxing, and I know what this is. This is from Prakar Gupta of the House of Sherwood, who I would say has been heavily influenced by our friend Russian Adam of Areej Le Dore. And so here, let me show you what he sent me. This is the new fragrance from Sherwood. And actually, we have a new presentation he told me about as well, which I'm very excited to see. And so here's the here is the new presentation. Sherwood Parfums here. And let me see how this opens. I guess this is a sleeve that kind of comes off. Okay, yeah, so the sleeve comes off, and this opens up like so. There you have it. Actually, a beautiful presentation. Now it's got the kind of silk back. So I like this. I like this presentation a lot. Very, very classy. And so this is his new fragrance called Artemis. And so Artemis is another limited 60 bottle edition. I keep telling him he needs to up it to 100, but 60 bottle limited edition. And I'm actually very excited to try this. This will definitely be my scent of the day tomorrow, and I love the name. Artemis reminds me sort of this foresty like feeling, you know. Of course, Sherwood has the feeling of Robin Hood and you know, his merry band of men rolling around, roving the forest. So anyways, I'm very excited to try Artemis. It's a pure parfum, and you know, Prakar Gupta is, I think, a real up-and-coming star in the artisanal space. I had him on the channel as an interview. If you want to check that out, you can. Really quick, I'll give you the quick Artemis. I'll give you the very quick breakdown in the notes. So, God, I mean, this note listing alone. Australian Boronia Absolute, Blackcurrant, Calabrian Bergamot, Egyptian Geranium, Grapefruit Zest, Green Apple, Juniper, Kashmiri Lavender, May Rose Absolute, Orange Blossom Absolute, Rosemary Siberian Musk, and Tunisian Neroli. That's the top. Heart is Bulgarian Lavender Absolute, Clary Sage Absolute, Ethiopian Civet, French Irish, Jasmine Grandiflorum Absolute, Lily of the Valley, May Rose, Mediterranean Cypress, Mexican Sweet Acacia Absolute, Russian Castoreum, Thai Oud, Tuberose Absolute, and Violet Leaf Absolute. That's the heart, with a base of Ambergris, Assam Oud, Bourbon Vanilla, Indonesian Patchouli, Java Vetiver, Oak Moss Absolute, Omani Frankincense Absolute, Spanish Labdanum Absolute, and Texas Cedar. Holy moly, that is a hell of a note listing. These are only available directly by reaching out to him on Instagram. So you can contact him directly, Prakar Gupta, or, you know, if you go back to my old Sherwood videos, I think I also included his email in the description as well. If you're just one of those people that don't have Instagram still, which I was for the longest time until the perfume game kind of forced me to get Instagram, which that's the only reason I got it. So you have to reach out to him directly. He still doesn't have a website, but he promised he would have a website up very soon. So we'll see. Can't wait to see if the website is going to be up and running by the end of the year or it gets postponed. But anyways, so Sherwood Parfums, new fragrance, Artemis. I cannot wait to talk about that and get to know it. So today we're talking about another new fragrance from an artisanal house. Again, Al Sandal. Now, Al Sandal is a fragrance that is supposed to smell as if you basically took a fine piece of Indian sandalwood, used a circular saw, and cut directly into the center of the sandalwood to get to the soft, red, meaty heartwood of the tree, okay? And I've been wearing it now for a couple hours. I wore it to bed previously once. Now, just like Al Oud, which is, I basically said, is like an Oud Soliflor that's 95% pure Oud, and Al Ambar was supposed to be like you're sitting down in ambergris class 101, okay? This is all about studying what proper Indian sandalwood smells like. I will save you the full speech, but as I've said on my previous two videos from the Arabian Heritage collection from the house of Areej Le Dore, you know, many houses, even very expensive niche houses and high-end designers and all of that stuff, when they list sandalwood in a fragrance, a lot of times you are not getting high quality real sandalwood. You're getting some sort of sandalwood substitute created by Givaudan or IFF or Simrise or Maine or whatever it is, right? Some sort of impersonation of sandalwood. Now, some of those impersonations are very good, okay? And herein lies the beauty, I think, of Adam's work. Many times, he specifically is showing you how all of these ingredients smell in real life. So just like the first two of the Arabian Heritage collection I reviewed on the channel, I will warn you and say that this is a simple composition. You know, I just read out this 100-note listing on something like, you know, from Sherwood. Adam has those fragrances too from Areej Le Dore, but this collection is different. You know, this collection is highlighting a specific note done in the Arabian style, okay? So I will tell you that I really enjoy what he's trying to do with these. But if you're expecting this vast arc of interconnectivity and something that transitions a lot and goes through all these changes and this big storytelling thing, you will be disappointed in these. These are focusing on individual ingredients, and the individual ingredient that this one's focusing on is sandalwood, okay? But done with an Arabic hand, if that makes sense. That's the Cliff Notes version, okay? Now, Adam describes the scent as soothing, relaxing, and meditative. Those are three perfect adjectives to sort of describe how real sandalwood smells like and how it makes me feel. Sandalwood is a very, almost like entering a temple. You know, you just have this, this sort of relaxed feeling. And I have many fragrances in my collection now that give off this pure, natural sandalwood type smell. I've reviewed some of them on the channel. And I have many different types of actual sandalwood oil. Actually, one of them right here is from Prakar Gupta. And this is pure Mysore sandalwood from Sherwood. And so you can kind of see the color of the juice and the color of the juice, right? I mean, you can see. So it's a very natural smell. It's a very natural smell. And the sandalwood in Sandal is exactly how it's described here. It's soft and almost like it melts your stress away. You know, that's how I think of sandalwood. Something to apply at the end of the day. Very high quality sandalwood just sort of melts everything away. It takes all the pressures of the day and just allows you to kind of decompress at the end of the day, and allows you to think. It allows your brain to kind of go into a different space, and perfect for things like meditation and stuff like that, okay? It just has this sandalwood, high quality sandalwood like this, has this very spongy, almost padded, soft, like relaxing type feel, okay? Like throwing yourself onto a memory foam mattress, and then your pillow is also made out of memory foam, which, by the way, I got a new memory foam pillow from the brand called Pillow Cube. I get nothing for a shout out to them, but I stumbled across them. I bought a couple pillows because I needed some, and I will tell you, I am in love with those pillows. I don't know if I've ever slept better in the last couple days since I got my Pillow Cube pillows. So imagine throwing yourself on a memory foam mattress with a memory foam pillow, and that sort of sponginess is at play here with the sandalwood. And I think what separates Sandal from just sniffing pure sandalwood to me are some of the garnishes that Adam has decided to surround this sandalwood with, okay? So the very first thing you're going to notice is this amazing note of saffron. And it instantly adds this Arabian twist, because saffron always reminds me of like the grainy, gritty sand note. And if you've watched Adam's video on the Arabian collection, whenever they have him smell the sandalwood fragrance at the very end, it cuts to like him sitting in a desert with sand sort of leaking out of his hand as he's holding it, okay? And that's a perfect image of the way that the saffron adds this sandy, duney aspect, you know, this grainy aspect to it. Now, within the first 15 seconds of the fragrance hitting your skin, I would say that's where the floor is kind of given to the saffron to shine, okay? And in that time, it really takes advantage of the brief, albeit, very bright moment in the spotlight. The saffron to me kind of comes across as having this like honeycomb meets popcorn like smell, almost like buttered popcorn. But just imagine like this golden smell, it has this honeycomb golden aura about it. And it comes across as a very layered, honeyed, chemical nectar composition that just combines together. Okay. And the saffron adds a little bit of a kick, a little bit of like a spicy kick as well. There's no spices here outside of the saffron, but it adds a little bit of a spicy kick. Very, very dry. And you may not pick up smelling just the pure sandalwood oil right away when you first spray, because the saffron is kind of what greets you first. And it adds that Middle Eastern twist, I would say. Now, the saffron also adds a bit of this chemical like plastic twist in the very early opening. As I said, 15, 20 seconds in, really, is what the saffron is given the stage on its own, in my opinion. And that little chemical plastic like twist, I don't want to unjustly give the impression that the saffron is more than what it really is in the fragrance, which it's just kind of like a quick maze to take your nose down before the sandalwood really bursts onto the scene. And as I said earlier, 15, 30 seconds tops, and you should be picking up this beautiful, strong, clear note of Indian sandalwood. Although the sandalwood has a very natural smell in isolation. This is a very natural smelling sandalwood, strong, clear, very, very present. Okay. To my nose, though, the chemical side of the saffron, which I love saffron. I think it may be wrong footing some people. I've had some folks say it comes across as a little bit of like clashing, because you have the natural feeling of the Indian sandalwood and you have this chemical, like plasticky saffron that can kind of start coming through. But, some have complained of this plastic smell. I'm about 99% sure it's coming from the saffron, which is actually a very expensive ingredient, very high quality saffron note here that starts to come through. And Russian Adam, I think, distilled it himself, so that makes it even more special and beautiful. But here is the thing about sandalwood that makes it such a tough ingredient to kind of work with on the natural side of things, okay? When you decorate sandalwood with these notes like oud or real deer musk or spices or flowers or all these other, ingredients, resins and stuff like that, it can kind of overshadow sandalwood. Sandalwood is such a soft and delicate experience, it's almost like stripping everything else down, and sandalwood is kind of the last just very, very soft thing that's left. And I think natural sandalwood plays a beautiful part in other compositions that Russian Adam has done. One that I would point out is Santal Galore, one of my all-time favorite sandalwood scents. But the natural deer musk and spices and florals and all that stuff sometimes make it difficult to just isolate that sandalwood note and pick it out. It's part of the overall blend, and the overall blend is gorgeous. As I said, one of my all-time favorites. I love the durian fruit and all the stuff in there, the natural deer musk. But it's part of that blend. Here, Adam kind of learned from that, I think, past, where sandalwood was overshadowed by the other bigger brothers, right? And he's just presenting us with this fragrance that is 90 to 95% sandalwood. That's what this kind of feels like. Majority of sandalwood with a little bit else going on to really call it a composition. Now, again, we have debated this problem in previous videos from the Arabian Heritage collection. For folks who have smelled natural sandalwood before, if you're kind of one of these people that actually has the real Mysore sandalwood oils, and it is beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful note in and of itself. If you've smelled natural sandalwood, real sandalwood, different types of sandalwood, if you've compared, Indonesian sandalwood to Indian sandalwood versus Mysore sandalwood versus all these, Australian sandalwood, all these, if you've gone that deep into it, then, you may not be impressed with this. You may think, $195 for 35 mils. It really smells like an out-and-out sandalwood soliflor, okay? And then there are the folks who are newer to the artisanal space, I would say, and maybe they want to try and learn and study what real sandalwood smells like. They want to go take that next step. And, they thought they were smelling real sandalwood when they got their niche fragrance from Le Labo or whatever, whoever niche brand you can think of. or designer for high-end designers, and then it turns out that they're smelling Javanol or something like that, or you know, some sort of synthetic sandalwood composition, which I like things like Javanol. I think Javanol smells amazing. It's a great substitute, but it's not the natural, noble, you know, sandalwood tree that you're getting in something like Al Sandal. So there isn't really much progression to it. There's really not a reason for me to get on here and just continue ranting about it. It's a simple scent, but it's all about the meat of the sandalwood being presented and how natural and relaxing and all that stuff, like entering a temple. All of that applies here. And the sandalwood gives off this red sandalwood smell, according to Russian Adam. I think it's a very buttery, soft, you know, but not as milky as some of the vintage sandalwood. Actually, there's a vintage Mysore sandalwood that Adam sent me called Santal Mindy from 1906. And this is a little bit more of a milky, musky experience, I would say. I would say it's a little bit more milky and musky, but what you're getting, the integrity of the scent here is, I would say, intact. Okay, you're getting a proper high quality sandalwood oil type smell here. Either way, you know, you have to approach this collection from a certain angle really to understand what Russian Adam was trying to accomplish. It's funny because Adam says he feels like this is like the first true sandalwood fragrance he ever released, because the sandalwood was overshadowed in some of the other compositions by the heavier notes. So that's pretty much it. As I said, simple composition, very high quality sandalwood. I think the price is very, very reasonable as well. If you're someone who wants to kind of study this kind of note in perfumery, then this is something that you may want to sample or get a bottle of. You know, if you're somebody who is looking for his more complex creations, the War and Pieces of the world, and, you know, Inverno Russo and stuff like that, this may be a little bit, you may think, okay, it's sandalwood, but what's so special about it? Why does this deserve to be in Areej Le Dore? And again, I think he's trying to kind of showcase an ingredient, and in that he has been successful. But if you're judging it from, hey, the complexity of something like War and Peace, then this may not be successful to you. It really depends. You have to approach this collection a certain way to appreciate it, is what I will say. So don't get me wrong. If you're a sandalwood lover, this could be like a holy grail sandalwood, because nothing is getting in the way. I mean, it is just sandalwood presented to you almost in just a very certain specific way. So that's my take. You know, let me know what you think. If you have any experience with Al Sandal, if you've had a chance to smell it, let me know your thoughts. So glad to get to do this. Thank you for sending this sample set to me, Adam. It's a pleasure, and I cannot wait to get to know this new Sherwood as well. Always, the artisanal space is really, the artisanal space and the vintage space are the two spots in perfumery that have truly still captured my attention and give me that boyhood, like, you know, wonder of discovering new things. What some of these designer houses is putting out, you know, I for example, I saw an article or like someone sent me something saying that Francis Kirkjohn is releasing a new Dior Homme Parfum for 2025. Maybe they had to rework it or something, and I'm just like, how boring. I mean, since he's come on to Dior, to me, it's been an absolute unabated disaster, the stuff he's put out. And so these type of houses are like what Dior is doing. They don't interest me at all. You know, Guerlain with that Paris, Patchouli Paris or whatever, which I reviewed on the channel this week. You know, that kind of stuff doesn't interest me. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, it's the artisanal space and the vintage space that's really still holding my attention. So you'll see more of these type of reviews to come. I still have those jinxes I want to talk about. I have Maxim Perfumes, newest Oud, which came out a month or so ago, which I've been sitting on. I haven't had a chance to do a full review yet. I have these Amouage sort of Atars that were very kindly sent to me by AG_frags on Instagram. So yeah, there's going to be a lot more content to come, but as always, thanks for watching. Appreciate everyone's support. Let me know what you think. Cheers, guys. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.